do you guys prepare? Do you talk about, I'm going to try to have this vibe, or you trust each other so much and you don't talk?
Like if we would prepare like a classic back-to-back, we would go like this with improvisation, you know. But for this, we need to prepare, at least for the reason that we are constantly layering on top of each other.
Yeah.
So we need to agree on how the intensity is gonna grow or evolve during the set, and also on the direction, because we don't want to hit too hard, too low. We want to also not do like zigzags, you know, in terms of style. That it keeps, you know, this consistency and coherence.
Yeah. And when you're playing, is there master who is, let's say, a person who's taking over the bass, also the kick, and the other person beats on top?
So just quickly to come back on the preparation, something that we always do before any shows, it's a bit like a live set, let's say. We write the story that we want to write, and we agree on we want to be a bit more deep on this one, we want to be a bit more banging at this time, we want to be a bit more groovy here, we want to be a bit old school here. So we write kind of a story that we know would fit potentially, like you would write a live set, basically.
With different moments.
Exactly, with different moments. And then we prepare our selection according to those moments.
Yeah.
And to come back to the lead, yes. So basically, each time we are playing, one has the lead and the other one is basically following or layering. And we have our special communication with signs to be able to show who has the lead, to show when we're going to pass the lead, and so on, to make sure that, of course, there is no moment where we are clashing with each other. Yeah. At the beginning, we're communicating a lot with signs because of that. I would say that now more and more it's very like it's just a blink of an eye. Like I leave if I have the lead, for example, I just put my heads up. He looks at me and I'm like giving him a sign with my head, and then he knows that he's taking the lead, and vice versa, basically.
Like second nature, you almost have like a muscle memory.
Exactly.
You feel each other.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if you go back to how you prepare your story, how do you think about it? For example, let's say you're playing to a specific club, you never played before, so you don't really know what the vibe is, you don't really know what the crowd is. How do you think about the story?
For this, I think it depends on. So if we know the place, obviously we know what to expect because we've been to the place and what is usually done here and how the crowd reacts. If we don't know, I would say it also depends on the duration of the set. If it's a rather short set, rather short, we usually don't.
No, there is no
short sets.
The shorter we do, it's 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's really the minimum that we accept for this show.
Yeah, for short sets, then it would be 3 hours. The shortest set that we can play. It's we go like more straight to the point. So we still try to make a story, but we try to make it more efficient on the dance floor, while still keeping moments of when there is like one track playing, for instance. Yeah. One thing I want to add also on that is like we layer a lot, but it's not like a showcase of skills of how to blend 4 tracks together all the time. At some point there is like only 2 or 1 track playing. Okay. It's also it's a DJ set, you know. At the end, it's also important for the crowd to breathe.
Exactly, not too much sound information. And to come back also on the preparation of the story, it's also, you know, we look at the lineup that is booked at the same day, what time we're playing. I mean, after playing in many clubs, it's not because we didn't play in one that we cannot at least imagine. Maybe we're wrong, but we're already imagining how it would be, what would be the crowd, how the crowd would be dancing. We see who plays before. We know usually the DJs who plays before, so we know on what kind of level of energy they will put them. So that's we take all the elements that are in our control to try to imagine it. But of course, there are a lot of elements which are not in our control, and then we have to adapt on the moment when we're playing.